Alright, before moving any further, I would suggest that you go through the previous lectures properly first. Try to understand those concepts first, then move on. Okay, now let's start with some of the examples of lambda, that how you can use lambda much more efficiently. And you are already familiar with the sorting, so I will use this as an example. Okay, now say for example, first of all, I have a list. Okay, so this is our list. I want to sort this list. Okay, you know already one method, that is a dot sort, but I'm going to use another one, that is sorted. The difference is that this sorted method does not mutate our original object. Okay, so sorted a, if I write like this, as you can see, this is sorted in the ascending order. Okay, so I am using this. Okay, let's come here, this sorted our object. Okay, so by default it sorts the list on the ascending order, but a is not changed. Okay, a is still the same if you try to look. Now what if I want to sort the list in the reverse order? I can also do that like this way. Sorted a, there was a reverse key. Okay, if I make the reverse true, it will sort the list in the reverse order. Okay, now if you come here, if you try to say sorted, okay, as you can see, if you go through these lines, this sorted function takes three inputs: the iterable, that is our list, or the list, or anything like tuple. This key is none. Okay, by default value key is made none, and the reverse is by default made false. Okay, in the last lectures when you discussed the user defined function, you saw how to keep these optional parameters. Since a value is already defined, that means this key or reverse is optional parameter. You may provide those values, you may not provide. If you do not provide, it will perform this operation by default. Reverse is by default false, key in is by default none. Okay, now so I hope you got the idea how these functions work. Okay, so this is the way you can sort it in the reverse order. Now I want to talk about the last one, that is the key, how to use this key. Okay, so let's come here. So that was our one way. The another way was sorted a dot, there was a reverse flag. Okay, so reverse flag, you can make it true or false. By default it is false. Okay, now let's come to the key concept. So what is a key? Okay, now sorted a, this key has to take a function. Okay, it will take a function. Achha. So function, what can be the function? This function can be a built-in function, can be a user defined function, okay, can also be a lambda function. Three types of function that you were introduced previously. Okay, so let's start with the built-in function. Okay, now if we come here, so say for example, we already know a function, that is the absolute function. I want to sort the list based on their absolute value, so we can write like this: sorted a, the key is equals to absolute. Now if I run this, see how the list is sorted. By default it is in the ascending order, so 0 4 6 7 should come. As you can see, 0 4 6 7 is coming, but understand the value is not changed. Okay, try to understand how the key works. When I am sorting this list, okay, so when I am sorting this list, it is sorting based on this function. Okay, but it is not changing our original list. It is returning the values just the way it is. So it is like, let me give you, if I come here, so say for example this was our values. Okay, see, -6407. So when I put the key as absolute, it is going to create a copy of the list like this. So the absolute value, so 6, then 4, then 0, then 7. Okay, so this key creates a copy of it, then try to sort it, then try to sort this one. Like when it sorts it, it returns this 0 4 6 7. It does not return this value. It takes the key, the index. It takes, this is the first index I should come, I should return this in the second index, then this one, then this one. But when returning the value, it returns the values from this one. Okay, it does not return this value, rather From that index, according to the index, it returns items from this list, the original list. Okay, so I hope you got the concept clear. So what does the key do? Key runs this function on each of the elements of this list. Okay, creates a copy of this list, sort it based on that. When returns the values from the original list according to the index. Okay, not what is this key is returning, not that way. Okay, now so this is about sorting a list. Now I want to move a bit further, that is how to sort a tuple. So sorting a tuple. So I have a tuple like this that is named as movie. So we already did one exercise like this. So when I sort a tuple, by default, okay, this sorted function will sort the tuple based on the first item. The first item is this. So in it should become the same way. Achha. Tu. Okay. So since it is sorting based on the first item, first comes the n, then t, then u. Okay. The second values remain the same. Okay. You can also use the reverse method as well here. Sorted, then movie, then the reverse flag. Okay. You can make the reverse flag true. If you make the reverse flag true, it is sorted in the opposite order. But what if I want to sort this tuple based on the second item, not the first one, but the second one? Okay, how we can do that? So we already saw one way to do it. If you remember from our previous lectures, first what we did, we use the list comprehension. We use list comprehension to change the order, from j comma I. Okay, that was the first thing. We change the order from j comma I, then sort that list by default, that is the first element based on this ranking. Then I have to revert it back, list comprehension, then sort it, then you have to revert it back to the original list. That was the procedure to sort tuple. Okay, now what if I don't want to go that way? Okay, there are 3 steps. I want to do it directly. Okay, I can do that using this key parameter. So how to do that? Okay, let's try to understand that. So sorted, I want to sort the movie based on their ranking, the second item, second parameter, not the first one. So how can you do that? Okay, so in this key, okay, there is no built-in function for that. I have to define a function. The function is a lambda function. I can do it directly. Okay, so lambda function takes an iterator, 1 or 2. Let's say I provide it I, then I have to put an expression here. But try to understand what is happening here. This I is taking the values of movie. Okay, so when I'm writing like this way, let's move these things. I don't need this. Okay, so when I'm writing like this, lambda I, then the expression. Okay, first I provide the name movie, then key is equals to. Okay, this was the thing that we are trying to do. Acha. So try to understand. So when I'm providing this key, this function lambda, and this expression, what does it I have? I takes the items from the movie. That means I will take the first item, then it will take the second item, then the third item. Okay, so I want to put an expression that will take the first item and return only this. Understand? Again, when I am providing this function lambda, this I is going to take the values, the items from the movie list. So from that list, first there is the first tuple, then the second tuple. From each of the tuple, I want to get the item, second item, that is the index 1. That was the index 0. So if I write like this way, I of 1. Okay, so what it is going to return? So when it will perform this key and this function, the function is going to return the values, only values, 8.5, then 9.5. Okay, then 9. Understand, this is a copy it is going to return. First it returns a copy, then it sorts it based on the ascending order. 8.5 first, then 9, then 9.5. But when it returns based on the index. It will find that 8.5 comes, so I will return this one first, then I will return this one. Okay, so if I write like this way, I of 1, if I perform it, as you can see, it is returning the values without changing anything, without changing the order. The order is changed in a copy, not directly. Okay, so I hope you got the idea, and let's move a little bit further, one step more. So what if I want to sort a dictionary? Okay. So I want to sort a dictionary, and this was the output that we have from one of the previous one. So I want to sort it. I asked you to do it by yourself. Okay, now let's do it this direct scheme approach. So I have this dictionary. So if I perform this sorted, our dictionary name is ff. Okay, so if I sort it, as you can see, it is returning only the keys. These are the keys, these are the values. It is returning the keys in a sorted order. First comes this empty, then a, b, e, like this way. So this function directly sorts the keys, and it does not returns a dictionary, it returns a list. Okay, understand this. Achha. So if I perform like this, sorted ff dot values, now it actually returning the values 1111 22244, but there is no way that we can actually, from the values I can get the key. In a dictionary, if we come here, the key is the unique parameter. The values can be, same value can come twice or thrice. For example, this f dot b all have this one. From one I cannot decide which one what is the key. From the key I can decide the value. So if I sort the values, I can sort it, but I cannot return our dictionary sorted. The whole dictionary sorted, I cannot do it this way. I cannot get the values, I cannot get the keys from the sorted values. Okay, so what I want to do here first, two things. First, I have to sort the dictionary based on the key. So that is actually pretty straightforward. So I already, when I do it directly, it automatically does that. It automatically sorts the dictionary, but it returns a list of keys. I want the values as well, so I can do it using list comprehension. Okay, let's get empty list like this way. Now I can do like this for I in sorted ff. So understand what I'm doing. For I in sorted ff, d of, so this I is going to get the keys of these keys. Okay, so d of I is equals to, I am defining the key in our new dictionary. D of I is equals to this ff of I. This ff of I means from this dictionary ff, using this keys, I am getting the values that is associated with this key, this key. If I run this, okay, now if I check the d, now it is sorted based on the keys. Now if we want to sort it based on their values, what can I do? I can use the lambda function again. Using the lambda function, I can sort those things from the values instead of the keys. Okay, so if I write like this, okay, let's define a new dictionary first. Okay, now for I in sorted, okay, ff dot keys, I want to sort the keys now. Okay, then what I want to do, I want to use the key is equals to a lambda function. This lambda I, this I is going to take the keys, these keys, and I want to sort it based on the values. So from our dictionary, these values, so this lambda function is going to return the values. This key is going to sort those things based on the values. Then when returning it is going to return sorted order. Okay, so dd of I is equals to ff of I. So if I check it now, as you can see, it is now sorted based on that. 1 1 1 like this.